Excited to learn. Day 2. Can we hear a bit here?
Sure. Yep, same.
Okay. Glad to see us. No, some smiling face. Some are thinking whether to smile or not. Okay, great. All of us are there. Rahul, can you check? I think they are still joining.
Yes, ma'am. 3 more guys has to join.
Okay, great. Okay, so we are in the introductory phase of the phase 1. Dr. Ram is there to lead. Today it's going to be a very engaging session, right, Ram? It's going to be.
Yes. Yeah, today there won't be any death by PowerPoint, I can assure you.
Yeah, in fact, I was mentioning the team that death by PowerPoint cannot be the way forward. Okay, so Dr. Ram has set up certain case studies and interactions, and though you may not be very sure about the kind of detailing of the attacks and the type of attacks, etc., we would say that jump in and see what you get, because Google out is out there. You can actually learn a lot of things by yourself, keeping the time in mind, because we have 60 hours and a lot of things to be covered. So we would say that all master's programs here and corporate training program, our intention is to make the learners self-learnable. I think that is our intention, right? So Dr. Ram is going to do a simulation plus some case studies. We have certain templates and all that, and you will be presenting, right? Though you may not be ready, right? But there will be help, support from all the team here so that you can do a good show. So that's it. Anything anybody wants to say something? Have you read about cybersecurity? Are you excited? Did you get through any of the links?
Yes, Dr. Shinu. Last night I went through a couple of like on Google and YouTube. I went through a couple of courses. I kind of I think understood what are the common attacks in cybersecurity, type of hackers, history of cybercrime. I mean, just being a little prepared ahead so that I'm not lost when it is thought.
Excellent. Yeah, I think if you come little prepared, I think you will have the confidence to speak up and you can lead slowly. I mean, I'm sure Swapna is already leading a lot of large accounts, and while talking to the clients, it is important to know what is actually happening. So glad, Swapna. Anyone else did any expeditions to cybersecurity world? Anyone could go through the PPTs and all that? Any links which we have shared? Have you seen MITRE attack frameworks? Anybody appreciated that MITRE attack framework? So beautiful. No?
Yeah, actually, the myth versus reality was the PPT was also nice, and also the data framework, how the data gets protected by various layers of governance, organization, process. Just did a little research. It is an amazing framework, actually.
Excellent. Yes. Excellent. Yeah. So I think a lot of them use that framework, extensively, right? And that framework is almost updated so frequently. So that could be a good resource for all of us to learn, right? Okay. So I won't take any time more. Dr. Ram, looking for a brilliant, interactive, engaging session, right?
Thank you, Dr. Shinu. So welcome back. Hope you all had good lunch, and I know making you stay connected, say, to the session is a challenge for whoever comes. So today, instead of PowerPoint, let us do some practical exposure into cyber threats, cyber incident management. Okay, the first hour we'll spend on interactive game. This is the by Trend Micro. I'm not sure whether you have come across something like this. So I would want you guys to be, more interactive. Whenever there is an option, there'll be a bunch of scenarios. they would be asking for options from you, what option the company should take to optimally manage the security situation. So based on your inputs, I'm going to feed into that tool, and then we'll see what happens next. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. So please be attentive, and let's play this game. I want everyone's cooperation, right? You can see my screen here. Yes,
Yes,
no?
okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. I'm gonna play this game. Let's start.
New revolutionary technologies are still to come. Thanks to the Fugal, you can already pay with your fingerprint. And this is just the beginning. The present, the future, the Fugal.
Okay, that would be all. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that.
Dave. Dave, listen, I know the new service is very important to the future for Fugal, but I'm a little concerned that we should spend more time addressing the security issues.
What do you mean by security issues? Are there any?
Not yet, at least none that we know about. The thing is, I'm not 100% convinced that the application is completely secure.
We are revolutionizing the mobile payments market. I'm sure we'll run into some small problems, but you and I together can surely handle it, right? Let's play. The success of this project is in your hands. Every choice you make will have an outcome on the success and the security of Fugal Incorporated. What should we do?
Okay, guys, so this is a scenario. I hope everyone could hear as well as see. Please put on your headphones if you're in our office. Can we start playing now?
Yes,
Doctor.
Okay, so here's this. You see, you just saw the video. So here you have 6 coins. Okay, this represents the budget, the finance that you get for security. And here are 3 options how to improve security. So you'll have to remember these points. Okay, just as in the real world, some of the decisions you make in the course of this game will cost you financially. You cannot splurge money just as you want, because you run out of money, then your security program is in big trouble. So your budget is represented by these red coins in the top left. And bear in mind, when it is gone, it's gone. And some of the option may no longer be available to you. So you have to be careful about choosing these options. So the first one is outsourced to a third party to help us identify any security issue, the ones related to the app. So we met the security manager, Randall, and this guy is a CEO. Okay. And second option is postpone the launch of the app and work on it internally. The third option is release on schedule and address any vulnerabilities with updates. So these are the 3 options. So what option should we choose?
The first
Second.
one.
You want to go with the first? Everyone okay? We'll go by majority decision, right? We'll go with the
Will
first.
cost money.
No, that
Okay.
will be.
Yeah. But
Yes, first one.
bear in mind, if you go with the first, then you may not be on schedule. Okay, there are so many factors, variables in this. So you want to postpone the launch and go with the third party route.
Third one, sir.
Third one is, while you may look good on schedule, you will be launching an app without security controls. Right?
Yeah.
The second one.
Second one, yeah.
Okay, you
The
want to
second one, because
postpone. But your reputation will go for a toss, right? You already released the news in the market. You are a payments company that will be launching. I think
But otherwise,
Security is more
otherwise
important, right?
also, if we launch it with a lot of issues, otherwise also our reputation will get spoiled.
Yes. But it's a very competitive market, you know. So who goes first to the market with a product, they win. So you're not launching on time, the competitor will grab the market, right? They'll get the first mover advantage. So bear that in mind. You have to look at the business context also.
But we can release on time and address the known vulnerabilities, right?
Okay. Okay, so majority of you, who wants to go with the first one? How many of you?
I want.
Okay, anyone else?
I
How-
too.
You
First
too.
one.
Okay. Anyone else for the first one? Outsource to a third party and fix
Yeah,
the issue.
first one.
Okay.
First one. Yeah.
Okay. Get 4, 5 people.
Yeah, please,
What about the second?
please raise your hand so that we can count, right?
Yeah, you guys from the back end, race team can count and tell me. I don't have access to that.
So if you do this, it will be difficult. Can you all put down the hands first, please? This is going to be otherwise very confusing. Everybody's hands are up. So we will only give say 1 minute for option 1. Option 1. Please raise your hand if it is option 1. Rahul, please make a note of how many hands are up.
Yes, ma'am.
So 5. Only 5. Huh? We have to take a decision.
No.
Indecision will anyway kill you. So okay, we have
I am
7.
not able to. I'm count me in. I'm not able to raise the hand actually.
Okay, you
Okay,
are
so
I can
are
do it
you,
now, but
are you in first? Adarsh, are you in the first? Because you are Kyndryl, so you would have to say the client that get to click in, no?
yes, yes.
So that is
Yeah.
why it is first option, no? Okay.
Yes.
8 of them plus Adarsh. Adarsh is there already.
Yeah, now I
8.
am.
Yeah, okay. So 8. Now please put down the hands, and those who are for the second, please raise the hand. Please put down the hands. First set of people, please. Just click on that, it will go off. Some of them, all options are open, huh? Same option. All 3 options they have raised.
The guys have to be quick, huh? It will be more interesting based on this.
Hemant, are you in 1 or 2? Hemant.
1.
Okay, then please put down your hand. We are now counting 2, option 2. Similarly, Sharath, please put down your hand. So are we supposed to be taking 9 of you are with option 2?
Yes.
Okay, great. And whoever have not raised the hand, assuming that it is option 3. Option 3, please raise the hand, which includes me also. I'm also raising for option 3. I'm quite reckless.
So who got the highest number?
Okay,
Which
we
option?
all lose. The reckless people are less in this group. Okay. I mean, risk takers, I would say, not reckless. Okay. So I think the second option.
Okay.
Seems
Want
to be winning.
postpone. Okay, I'll choose the second one then.
Yes. Okay.
Well, we can't afford any mistakes. So I think we should revisit the release schedule until we can work through this internally. I'll have to get approval from the CEO, but it's what we should do.
Sure, okay. Just keep me in the loop.
Dave, there's absolutely no way we can even consider postponing this launch.
Think of the reaction of the shareholders, the markets. Think of the negative PR. We have been hyping this launch for months now.
Okay, I get it. I'm not putting anything on hold. But we have to do something.
Okay, so do it. We're trusting you to make decisions like these and still meet the needs of Fugal and its shareholders. So what's your plan?
Okay, so what do we do?
So you have 3 options here. Option 2 involves spending 2 coins. So bear that in mind before you choose. So what would be your option? First is outsource to third party to help us identify any security issues. Second is invest in some vulnerability scanning tools and training for the team. Third is work on vulnerabilities after the first release of the app. It's just like our Windows. First release the OS, there is issues, then we will fix it. So what option would you choose? Option 1, 2, or 3?
Yeah, for Windows, it works. Because you have no other choice.
Okay.
Option 1.
Option 1.
Option 1.
Option 1, everyone? Raise the
Option
hand.
1.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go with option 1 then. You guys are not spending any money.
It's a third party to work on it for us. We can't spare the internal resources for it. We have to be sure of this before we launch. I'll meet with the development team to discuss it.
Great. Do what you have to do in order to make this launch a success.
Okay, there's obviously a lot at stake here. Let's meet with your team and talk about outsourcing.
Okay, as soon as you're available.
Okay, let's meet in an hour.
All right. Dave, thanks for giving us your time. We were just going over some of the possible options.
Okay, so what are our options?
Well, if we want to make sure to outsource the job to someone to do the code audit for us, we have to make the right decision.
No, of course. What options are on the table? What do you recommend?
Well, we have these guys who've worked with us before. They've never done anything this big, just small bits and pieces, things we didn't want to deal with. They should be able to handle this, though. They're not terribly expensive, and the benefit is, they've worked with us before, they know how we work, so there's not much training involved.
Okay, that sounds reasonable.
Then we have TechSpec, the guys that do the federal online services. Yeah. They definitely know what they're doing. They work with the very best, and they'll be worth every cent that we spend on them. We'll just be spending a lot of cents.
Okay, how much exactly?
Quite a lot, actually. And finally, this new thing. A bunch of InfoSec researchers, they went freelance and founded this company, IT Freaks. Anyway, they're the most affordable of the bunch, and according to Danny, they should be able to do the job fast and do it relatively well.
Okay, now if we know our options.
Which one you would prefer? The known
Third one.
one or the
Third
IT
one.
Freaks?
The third one, IT Freaks.
Third one, yeah.
Second.
Okay, everyone wants to go with a bunch of freelancers.
Yes.
Second.
We'll go with third.
Yes.
You're spending 2 coins here, so 2 coins would be gone from your kitty. Okay, I'm choosing the third one.
You know what? The freelancers always work their butts off. Choose them.
Roger, Danny knows all of these guys, so we can get him on board in just a matter of hours.
Okay. Hey, Randall.
Good morning, Dave. I'm afraid we've got a bit of a situation here.
What do you mean, situation?
The IT team has uncovered evidence that we're under some sort of targeted attack. Whoever's behind this is after credentials using some very credible social engineering. It looks like a number of our employees were sent emails that appeared to come from the help desk telling them to renew their passwords.
Damn. All right, how badly were we hit?
Well, not that badly at all, actually. Our web gateway detected and blocked the malicious URLs. So we're safe for now.
Okay, great. So everything's fine. Man, you almost gave me a heart attack.
I said we're safe for now. I think we should look at how third parties access our internal systems. See, if that same email went out to any of them and they were compromised, then so would we.
All right, so you guys did great, but you're right. If somebody wants to get in, they're gonna. Where are our weak points?
Well, we can try segmenting the network.
Okay, but I'm guessing that's not 100% attack-proof.
Nothing's 100%. I mean, our weak point is still movable data, USB sticks, CDs, that kind of thing. Data has to go from one place to another.
Okay, so that's a long-term project. What else do we have?
Well, I would suggest extending a two-factor authentication to cover those same contractors.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just wondering if we can afford to spend that much money, particularly with the launch and everything.
Well, if you don't want to spend any money at all, we can use our internal Active Directory to enforce stricter access policies.
The CEO is asking your advice. What's the option? Option 1, segment the network, or use two-factor authentication for your contractors, or use the internal AD.
Two-factor authentication.
Second one.
Second one. Okay, so out of 4 coins, you are using 2, so left with 2. Okay.
You know, if the two-factor authentication works for them, it'll work for us. Let's do it.
Okay, consider it done. There's one more thing I wanted to talk to you about. I'm worried about our data security in general. I strongly suggest we start encrypting our intellectual property as well. This could be industrial espionage.
Okay, it has to be the right choice. Data security is important, but I don't have an unlimited budget. I need to be sure that our investment is addressing the real risk.
The loss of the money. Okay. What do you want? Which option would you
First one.
choose? First?
First one.
I'll choose this then.
Yep.
We need to comply with this card's requirements, right?
Yes.
Then make sure we comply, okay?
Sure thing, Dave. I hate to bring it up considering the budget and all.
What else?
Well, I think we should invest in some breach detection technology. Remember that deep discovery POC we did last year? It's a new approach to security, and with this targeted attack is a new challenge. Failing that, we can have a look at our existing technology, see what else is out there.
A technology refresh?
Exactly. Get some RFIs out there, make sure we have the best of breed firewalls, anti-malware, intrusion prevention, the whole 9 yards.
What's your option? Last $2 we have. Want to invest in breach detection technology or want to carry out an audit and go down the traditional security road, security vendors? The third one is the security manager is responsible for control monitoring with current tools. That's a typical management speak, saying that the guy is responsible. So choose your option quickly. Option 1, 2, or 3.
Option 1.
Option 1.
One.
But with that spend option 1, you don't have any more money in your budget, right? You ran out of money. You're running out of money.
But
security is important.
Option 2. We don't want any of our competitors sniffing around our network.
Got it. I'll get on it right now. Keep you posted.
Exactly. So this is how it should work. Julian, how many journalists we already have confirmed?
It's going to be a great event. We did a call out this morning, and as far as I know, only Phil from CB4 cancelled. That's a 95% turnout.
And CV4, it's not even our demographic anyway, so. It's a shame, though. He'll miss the app test drive.
Test what?
Oh, I told you about the journalists we have coming to pre-test the app. You know, just a beta version. Nothing to worry about. High-profile bloggers, tech and lifestyle magazines.
Why didn't I know about this?
Well, you were copied in on the thread.
You CC'd me? This is a really critical matter, this event. The code isn't frozen yet. It hasn't even been fully tested by our own QA guys, and you want to give it to the press? Are you crazy?
I'm sorry, but we thought you were up to speed with this and had no objections. It's a marketing thing. We have to show them something.
Vanessa, listen, I know that you think security is an afterthought, something we can just bolt on when the app is functionally complete, but it's not. Now, I'm not a marketing expert, but I do know that giving something that may be vulnerable to a tech-savvy journalist is inviting disaster.
Well, cancelling the press conference is actually making the disaster a certainty. There has to be a middle way.
Okay, we need a plan. This is a game-changing app. Coupled with the Hylar glasses, it's going to revolutionize the industry. But without a proper launch, it might not even take off.
So the journalists are coming. They're all high-profile tech journalists. They know in and out of how an app functions. So it's pretty risky. That's what the CEO feels to give them access to the app in this event. Okay. So what is the option would you choose? Give them access to the app with limited functionality, make the journalists wait till the launch of the app, or invite them to test the app in a controlled environment.
Third option.
Anyway, they are going to write. Anyway, they'll write stories in the press. You know. We'll choose the third option.
Third one.
Yeah.
Third one.
Okay.
Second option.
All right. We can invite them in to pre-test it.
I knew you could be reasoned with.
But only on the devices we provide and on our premises.
It'll do fine. Can you arrange it for the next week?
No problem.
Great.
Thank you very much for watching our presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll now leave you in the hands of our capable team. It's really great that we let them come here. We're going to get some great coverage out of this. They love it.
Yeah, you know, it's really Vanessa's call, but I'm just not sure if it was the right thing to do.
No worries. We rock.
Hello?
Ah, hello, Mary. How are you? How did you enjoy the event? Thanks very much for coming.
Thank you.
Mr. Stevens, this is Mary.
Mary Collins.
SkyTech Magazine.
Pleased to meet you. The app looks really great. Can I get one of your devices for real-world testing?
Dave?
You know, it's really nice to meet you, but I'm sorry, it's just not possible.
Why not? You want me to write a review, don't you? Well, a proper review means that I test it outside your controlled environment. Does the app actually only work inside your canteen?
Of course not.
So can I take it outside?
So what do you think?
So, what should the CEO tell the journalist? Because these people are very powerful, huh? The journalists. They will make or break your product.
2.
For writing stories.
1.
1 or 2? First one. Tell the journalist.
No. Second one.
Okay. Now you are thinking from a security practitioner's point of view, but you should also wear the hat of from the business perspective, right? So you have to come out of the silos. That's what I would suggest. If you are the CEO, what you will do? You should not talk like a security manager or a security professional. You should also look at what is from a business point of view, whether it will be a disaster or not.
First one.
But
No, I'm not trying to
Yeah.
influence. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
influence. It's your choice. You go with whatever
Yeah.
choice.
But if it goes out of the system and there is some loophole, then it will impact further, right?
Yeah. So for that, you would opt for option 2.
No, it could be other way that we'll explore the possibilities because
that is only your
yeah,
playing.
not everything need to be done on then and there, right? So we can buy in time. A diplomatic way of dealing with journalists.
Okay. So now you understood, right, how business plays a key role in security decisions. Okay, I'm choosing option 1 then. Fine.
Okay. Here's my card. Drop me a line and I'll see what I can do. Can't make any promises though.
Wow, thanks. Thank you.
You're really going to give her the real thing?
Said no promises, right?
Okay.
You know, I just caught the edge of that thing right there, yeah? Okay. Gotta go check phone calls, boys. Be right back. Guys, just give me 1 second, all right?
Great to hear from you. Finally.
Yeah, I was in a meeting. What's happening?
We're facing a small crisis. We're working on it, and so far I'm pretty sure it's all just a bluff.
Yeah, this blog's claiming to have access to our network, to our crown jewels. It needs thorough investigation. What's your comms plan?
Of course. Well, from a marketing standpoint, at this moment, we can either prepare a reactive statement or...
Or say nothing, right?
Exactly. No comment till we know what's going on, which is basically never a good idea.
All right, well, listen, we can't leave it without a comment because the rumor mill would eat us alive.
Absolutely. We need to get a reactive statement together saying that we treat seriously every claim of this nature and that we are currently carrying out internal investigation to see if there's any substance to it. But I'll need some solid facts from you. Can you give me any guidance when you'll have some detail for me?
Yeah, that's actually my next call. I'll keep you in the loop. Sorry to be brief, but I gotta go.
Of course.
Tell me, what's going on? Did somebody actually steal our data?
No, there's no chance that happened. All our bases are covered. That stuff on Pastebin definitely didn't come from us, and there's been no sign of improper access.
What if someone internal just spoke to the press?
Even if anybody did, definitely wasn't any of my team.
Well, I never said that.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, we could run a quick data movement check. It won't take long and it should give us some useful information.
Sounds reasonable, but will the quick scan be enough?
Well, we can try an external forensics team.
It's an unwelcome and unexpected expense.
Yeah, I know. I mean, if we do that, we're definitely going to have to reschedule the app launch. But wouldn't it be better to be safe than sorry?
I just can't believe we've been put in this position through hearsay. Damn.
Well, maybe it won't have to come to that. I can get the team to check the logs from the breach detection system. We didn't get any alerts relating to the repository code, but still.
You know, sometimes I'm glad you like to spend all that money on software, you know?
I thought I'd never hear that.
Well, you may never hear it again.
So what's the option? What would you advise the CEO? Don't change the schedule, run the data movement check, engage in external forensics investigation is the second option. The third one, have the security team check the breach detection system logs.
Third one. Third option. Third option.
Third option, right? Okay, that's the most logical thing to do.
Randall, yeah, check the deep discovery logs and let me know if anything pops up, would you?
Sure thing, boss. Anything else?
No, I think we're just fine.
Randall?
Yes, hey, I know it's early, but I just wanted to call and tell you that there was no evidence of theft of the source code of the app.
So it was a bluff. Good job.
Wait, that's not all. What we did discover was a targeted attack in its final stages. They were after millions of our customer data records. They were getting exfiltrated off of the servers.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, we were able to stop that. So based on the deep discovery information, we managed to secure the data and make sure their access to our servers are terminated. They were after the customer records all along, and they almost fooled us.
Okay, so we're good.
We're as good as we're ever gonna be.
All right. Good job, Brando. Really good job. All right, I'll be at the office in an hour.
All right, see you then.
Schedule and everything right?
Yeah, just unpaid parking tickets.
Ooh. Can I help you? Congratulations. You just saved your company from a major data breach. Well played.
Good, guys. I think the choices you made is really good.
Thank you.
This guy is the one who finally comes and gives a briefing. If our choices are wrong, he will tell where we went wrong, right? I mean, in terms of you have to satisfy business, you have to protect the data, you have to keep an eye on the budget, everything, right? So play of all these variables. So that way, I think the choices you made were all logical. The thing is, when I run the same program with different audience, different outcomes come. What is important here, and I'm really happy, is you guys come from IT background. Some of you have security background as well. Many of you are from IAM, so you guys understand the importance. You can easily relate. I think it's played pretty well. I'm pretty happy. Anyone interested in playing other scenarios, you can just go for this URL. I think Dr. Shinu can share. It's a game by Trend Micro. It would be pretty interesting to see the different scenarios. Clear? Any feedback on this? Was able to simulate real life scenario?
Yes.
Yeah, it was good. Okay, I think they just posted the link in the chat window. You can play at your leisure and see how you can do. And what next we are going to do is we are going to do a practical workshop. You can see my screen, right? You guys can see my screen? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. So what we will do is we will plan a workshop. We will split all of you into teams of 5 or 6 people per team, right? And the objective is to involve all of you in topics that we discussed yesterday, right? And give you a practical flavor for different elements of exposure from a real world perspective. Okay, so each of your team will be assigned a data breach case study or a security incident case study from the real world, and you can use open source inputs from Google, and you can present your views at the scheduled time. So you can refer to, I got a few reference slides as well, which we will be sharing with you all. You can take a look, and then that could be input for your, slide outline template. There's a presentation outline for you. You can use that. So when you design the technology process and the people controls, you can use the reference slides. Okay. So the prep time is about 1 hour from now. Okay, 1 hour you can use to Google and research on the topic, and within 1 hour you research, you analyze, put the content in the slide outline presentation that will serve as a template. Reason why we are giving it so that we don't go all over the place. Okay, it's about 8 or 9 slides, and then say at 4 o'clock we can come back and start the presentation team wise. So in a team of 5 people, all the 5 of you have to present at least one slide, okay, minimum of one slide. So it's up to you who wants to present which slide. That's up to you. Okay. So post the presentation, we'll have a Q&A for about 5 minutes per team, totally 15 minutes. So I understand you are 26 people, right? You're about 26 people. So we have split the teams. Okay, the data
25
breach,
in fact.
25, then 5 teams. Perfect. It'll be 5 people per team. So what we are expecting is from the real world data breach incident, conduct an in-depth analysis to cover these aspects. Okay, starting with the data breach background, incident narration, root cause analysis, what are the attack vectors, and if there is an impact on customers or reputation or employee stock price, whatever, if it is as applicable. And also you have to suggest the remediation to cover the people, process, and technology aspects to avoid recurrence. That's the briefing for this presentation for the practical workshop. I will also show you the outline. This slide text, I think Reva team would have shared with you, or it would be there in the LMS. Okay, so suppose your team number or name is team A. You just put the topic name and put your team member's name and map it to which slide number they are presenting. Okay, and the idea is these aspects. This is the overview. Then you just put in bullet points, the data breach or security incident background, need bullet points. Then the incident narration and root cause analysis. You can say whether it happened, how it happened, and attack vectors, whether it was through a third party company or vendor or through phishing email. You can mention. If you have an infographic related to that data breach case study, you can very well use it. No hard and fast rule. We can search it in Google Images site. Okay, and you can put in bullet points how these aspects were impacted, whichever is applicable. If there are companies which are listed, they'll have stock price. If they are not listed, then you can ignore. And then the remediation process covering these 3 aspects. If one slide is not enough for this particular aspect, you can use additional slide as well. Then you conclude saying what is the take on this case study. In the reference slides, this is the controls you have. So you can pick and choose the controls as per the case. And also here is a nice slide that again covers all these three areas. Okay, and here you have a big picture slide that talks about how you manage cyber risk. Okay, so these are the three reference slides which you can use. Okay, so can from the RAISE team, can anyone confirm if this slide is available in the LMS, both the slides?
Yes, Ram, I'm just quickly sharing my screen so that you can see what is kind of happening. So I am on in Nitin's account. So all of you would have had this overview. Under cybersecurity overview, you have pre-readings in class, whatever the deck that we have put, including today what just now Dr. Ram used, video recordings. Under assignments and assessments, right? You will have the quiz. If yesterday who couldn't take the quiz, there is another quiz that we are populating. So for them, it's only for them, right? Three of them who had some challenges. This is the assignment link where you can upload your deck. And this is the slide deck template, right? So you can download this and use it. And after preparing your deck, come here in the assignment. This is here under assignment also you can find. So you can see under assignment, this would have come and you can actually select file and then upload it from your area and then write a small description. It's mandatory. All the red fields must be completed and save as draft, right? Save as draft. Then we will get your submissions.
Okay, Dr. Shinu, is this presentation being used for any evaluation?
Not,
No,
yeah,
right?
so we may, we may, yeah, see, because every day's evaluation, some kind of components is put together. Because all these will be available, because that means even the other team's presentation deck also you will get, right? So it's for everyone's sharing of the knowledge. It'll all be one stop destination. LMS all will be there, right?
Okay. Now, do you have that spreadsheet which is shared with the participant names and the topics? The case study, you can present that.
Yes. So we are going to put this in the group, and Dincy is going to create breakout rooms, right? I'm going to put it here under the chat.
So one quick tip, 5 people in one team, right? So one person be in charge of, we are all working remotely. I don't know how many of you are in the same office or you're all working from your respective homes. Tip is one person be in charge of the presentation. The others can do the research and pass on the contents. And then that person, so that there's no confusion. If 3 people, 4 people are working on the same tech, it's not going to help you. I mean, in terms of time, you will lose time. Okay, so make one person in charge of the PPT. Let others work on specific aspects. Like one person will research on the incident, one person on the background, 1% on the remediation. Of course, everyone can brainstorm together, but sourcing this facts and all, let each of you split the work and do it. And put together the slide. It's hardly eight slides. Populate it neatly, use infographics or better impact if you like. And then we will assemble at 4 o'clock, and then we can run each of these teams, each of the teams from team 1 to team 2, we will start. And when one team is presenting, let the other team pay attention. So we all will learn from each other's case study, right? So there are 5 case studies. Dr. Shinu, can you just show it? I mean, the spreadsheet. Okay, the first team, team 1, made up of the first 5 folks. For them, Saudi Aramco 2021. Okay, please remember the year. The year is very important. Why means, of course, Saudi Aramco is only one instance. But if you scroll down, you'll see companies like Marriott has been hacked many times. In 2014, they were hacked. 2018, they were hacked. In 2020 they were hacked. So you have to be very specific in relation to the research. Only the 30 years data breach, you have to do the research. Same thing with Yahoo, Twitter. Multiple times they have been hacked. Okay. So please search, Google search for your respective this thing. I've given a very good mix. Two of them are IT companies, Microsoft Exchange Server and Kaseya. Saudi Aramco is oil and gas, right? And Audi Volkswagen is from the car industry, automotive. The last one is from the hospitality industry. So you'll get a good mix of different data breaches, how it happened. So let's rock on this. Okay. Any questions? Any clarifications you need? It's pretty clear.
Maybe a brief about how to go about getting the right resources for these, Ram?
Oh
or anyone?
So just go for Google and just type the keyword Saudi Aramco 2021 data breach. That's the thing. Marriott 2020 data breach. That is good enough. You'll get a lot of resources. So it's up to you how you want to pick out and learn about it and start populating. Okay. Only thing when you are typing, populating your slide deck, don't put big paragraphs. Make it into small bullet points, just like you do any corporate presentation. Okay. So you guys are familiar with your teams, then get going. We'll catch up at 4 p.m. Have your breaks, your chai break, and then come back.
TK Das, I think, which group is along with Ganesh Hegde. Yes. So please, Sandeep, please join there. We will have a quick introduction about Sandeep. Sandeep, are you there?
I'm Sandeep and I'm part of the IAM team. Okay. And having about 3 projects for primary controls.
Great. So please go through yesterday's, we have given the access.
I'm just going through that, Shinu. So yesterday's sessions. So I'll
Dr. Shinu, the number 23, it says 4 C's. C, 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 C. I don't know who is that is.
So just see, no, that's it.
Yeah, just see.
Yeah, so please ignore that.
Yeah, and one person just dropped off, Hemant. I think he had got a family emergency.
Oh,
while on call. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I think we have 5+ people.
Yeah.
So, Dincy, are you going to create the breakout room?
Yes, ma'am. And we have 3 groups with 5 members and 2 groups with 4 members whom we'll be adding now. So here, Nitin, Hemant, and there's one more, Hazil. So these 3 are not in this.
Okay. You want to share? Did you get a link? All the members? A breakout room?
I'm sharing it, ma'am. I'm sharing it. I'm creating the room here also.
Fine.
And where are these 2 slide decks available for their reference?
It is there in the LMS.
Okay, okay.
The original document is under in-class material, which Dr. Ram mentioned, right? We can put that also in the assignment section. We'll do that.
So the guys are familiar, right? I mean, what needs to be done? You're familiar with the idea, the requirement. So please do well.
Can we ping you also in case if you need information?
Yes, yes. Maybe for 15 minutes in the middle, I may not be available. But apart from that, I'll be available throughout. You can ping me.
We will be here, Dr. Ram. We'll be here. So please let us know.
Sure. I'll let you know when I'm away for 15 minutes.
Sure. Thank you.
I had a clarification, Ram. Where do we find the case study details?
It's so open source. You can Google and check.
Okay.
I'm not giving you a PDF document. You know, if I give you Harvard case study, it will go for 25 pages. You'll not have time to read through.
That's fine. Yeah.
You can study through any news reports, or you want to have a focused look. You can just mention, say, Kaseya 2021 PPT or PDF. These are the keywords you can use. Then you will get only the focused content you will get already distilled and written by someone. Right? That is again another technique, search technique. So get going, guys. be part of your respective breakout rooms. I think Dincy can help with that. And then I'm just going on mute and I'm going to shut my camera. I'll be available. I'll be at my desk only. All the best.
Both the decks are here. One is the briefing and the template. Both are here under the assignment.
Can you all confirm on the assigned groups?
We have downloaded the template. What exactly needs to be confirmed?
Your breakout rooms of your teammates. Did you get a invite?
No.
Okay. Anand is in which case study?
I think no
Anand
one got.
Anand in Kasai.
Yeah, I think none of us have got it. The
Yeah,
breakout
yeah.
room. Yeah.
Yes.
ಇದು ರೇವತ್ right?
Everyone is gone out, huh? Didn't see?
Yes, ma'am, they are in the rooms now.
Okay. Dishita is here. Karthik is here. Karthik also left.
No, Karthik is our intern.
Oh, okay. Fine. Maybe didn't see it is good to add
Ram, sir.
Dr. Ram and me in groups.
All the groups. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
All the
Yeah, just to be comfortable, no, because they are too new, Ram. Right? They just started, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they-
yeah. Please,
yeah,
please. I'm
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Hi Mahesh, we'll add you in one of the group. There is an activity going. Please wait.
Yeah, sorry, due to some connectivity issue, I got disconnected in the middle.
Okay, so there is an assignment given. So we'll add you to one of the team and then you can discuss.
Sure.
Nancy, can you put in some other team, Marriott or somewhere?
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Nobody is here, huh?
You are able to. Whom should I give to?
Hello guys, you guys are ready now? Can we start the presentations?
Yes, I suppose.
I think team one, Saudi Aramco, can you guys start?
Sure, we can
I think
start.
others can observe and learn. It's a learning process for everyone. It's not only Saudi Aramco team, the team that worked on that case study will do only that. Everyone will learn from each other's projects. So please pay attention. Let's hear from them. You can start sharing your presentation, guys.
Sure.
We'll have strictly 10 minutes. And this time starts now. We'll close by 16:20.
Okay.
Put it in slideshow mode, the full screen mode. Yeah, go ahead.
Able to view the screen.
Yes. All
Okay.
set. Please go ahead.
So these are the topics we're gonna cover from the teammates. So we did the case study on Saudi Aramco 2021 data breach. So in late July 2021, Saudi Aramco acknowledged there was a data leak from one of its third-party contractors. That group actually didn't say what methodology that was used to exploit the data, but they called it as zero-day exploitation. There were a lot of P2 data also being there, which dated back from 1993 as well. Okay, and the group also listed few of the data which has been exploited by them. It's listed as full employees information and the details of the employees and their projects and in a network, locations, list of all their clients and invoice, all the contracts they had. This is a bit of a background of the security incident and the breach.
Okay, Prakash, can you go to second? Yeah, okay. So this incident happened on like July 21st, and this is done by one threat group. This responsibility for this threat claimed by one threat group is called 0x, and they have they have stolen some 1 terabyte of data from Saudi Aramco, and they have asked for 50 million of US monetary 50 million of ransom through cryptocurrency, and posted timer in darknet, and they have stolen all the personal information for 14,254 employees and all the technical data for their company. And they have stolen IP address, Wi-Fi access point, IP cameras, IoT device, all the information for their companies. This is the incident narration.
Thank you, Soumya.
Next comes with the root analysis, where it has obtained the information from the location of the oil refineries and the payroll files and confidential client and the employee data, where the miscellaneous insight is employees will not have checked the mails before they are going to CC. Employees don't have to act miscellaneously to commit a data breach. They might simply make a mistake, such as including the wrong person in the CC field of an email, attaching the wrong document, or losing a laptop. And many employees will have access to the sensitive information of the company, and there is always a chance that someone will try to misuse it. That sounds clinical, but unfortunately, the financial gain from selling the data on the dark web is too great for many. Yeah, and the attack vector is 0 day. A 0 day exploit is a method or a technique threat actors can use to attack systems that have the unknown vulnerability. One method, 0 day malware, is a miscellaneous program created by the attackers to target a 0 day vulnerability. Whereas the 0x is offering 1 TB of proprietary data belonging to Saudi Aramco for sale, where the data was stolen by the hackers and they demanded for the financial income. That's about the attack vectors.
Soundarya?
Yeah, hi. Next, we are going to continue with the impact coverings on customers, employees, and how is the stock price after that hack. That Saudi Aramco often confers that no major impact was caused after that hack, but Associated Press was confirmed that 1 terabytes or 1 gigabytes of Aramco data was being hacked and it is available in darknet. But the Aramco company was confidently saying no impact on our company data. And also in stock pricing, that Aramco net worth was increased after that attack. We can see this comparison in from 2020 to 2021. That stock price was increased after that hack. That's all about the impact.
Okay, that's it. Your slides are done.
One more remediation. Karthik?
Yeah, so here we are discussing about the remediation, what we can do to prevent this type of a breach. So first section will discuss the third-party security risk assessments, which is concerned with the people. So this is considered to be one of the best practices when it comes to identifying the security gaps and guiding the direction of our cyber security program. A risk assessment like this will answer questions like, where is your data going on a third-party network and how is the third party protecting that data? When it comes to the process, we will deal with the data segregation. What kind of data we are sending to the third parties, and are we sure that the third parties don't have access to the data they shouldn't be having? Data inventory and data segregation on the network will help us understand better on how data flows in and out of your systems. If one of these third parties does get breached, you won't be in a position that Saudi Aramco is in, where everything from passport photos to IP addresses to geo coordinates of SCADA systems is exposed. As a result, we can limit the type of data threat actors can pull out of your third parties. So the next one, in terms of technology, there is something called as zero trust security. From a security perspective, a defense in-depth approach plus zero trust is the future of security maturity. Zero trust takes things a step further by limiting the actual splash damage caused by threat actors. If one system is infected, then two threat actors have means to infect more. If more than one system can be infected, then how many in total can be accessed? How many of those systems can threat actors collect data from? So with zero trust security, your organization effectively turns every system and point of access into its own environment and perimeter. Each environment has its own rules per perimeter, thereby limiting access only to the users who have the permission.
Thank you. Good. Thank you. In conclusion, we discussed this, all the things. So the companies really don't invest much on the cybersecurity space. So they need to start investing on the cybersecurity. And for this, Saudi Aramco, they need to do a third-party vendor assessment, and they need to know the data classification, the data segregation, because the data back 1993 were also being exploited by the hackers. and zero is the security being an investment for the company. Thank you. That's all from us.
Thank you, guys. A couple of things. Just want to understand this data was taken off from the third-party contractors, right? Third-party vendors, rather.
Yes. So the core confirmed that it was through a third-party vendor.
Okay. And okay. The other thing is, yeah, you haven't used any of the reference slide stuff, like what technologies you use, but rather it's a very generic stuff, right? So if you have to put in place some data security controls, what controls you could have picked up from here. Anyway, for the first time, this is fine. But specifically, I mentioned use the reference slides to pick up what technologies you would use. That is one. But overall, you guys have done a good job. You're in the shortest time, in 1 hour's time, you're done. So what is a lesson from this story? It is not enough if you are secure, but also your partners in your ecosystem, that is third-party contractors, also have to be secure. In this case, the vendor was not secure, and from there, the hackers, the 0x group, has pulled out the data, right? So they don't have a proper TPRM function in place or a program in place, right? Third-party risk management. And that impacts, it's not just about some data, it is primarily employee data and even IT related network infrastructure, all of that, right? So it's very, very risky. It impacts the SCADA systems also. So that's a lesson. We have to be, all organizations which which talk about cybersecurity programs, they should also look at the extended enterprise, including your third-party vendors and service providers. Good job. Thanks.
Thank you.
Any questions from anyone? Any other folks from? Okay, then we'll go with team 2. Team 2, Microsoft Exchange Server. Who's presenting? Ganesh?
Ganesh.
Okay.
Hi all, good evening. My name is Sharath and I represent Team 2 and the topic is Microsoft Exchange Server 2021. To begin with, the cyber attacks and the data breaches began in 2021 in an on-premise Microsoft Exchange servers throughout the world. Microsoft Exchange is considered a high value target for hackers as it is an email server software which gives them full access to email, passwords, administrator privilege on servers, and access to connected devices on the same networks. The attack was mainly focused on small and medium businesses, local institutions, local governments. The first breach of Microsoft Exchange Server instance was observed by cybersecurity company called Velocity. Microsoft said that the attacks was initially executed by Hafnium, a Chinese state-sponsored hacking group. This group has targeted entities in the United States, such as industry sectors, including infectious disease researchers, law firms, higher education institutions, defense contractors, policy think tanks, and NGOs. On 5th January 2021, security testing company DevCore made the earliest known report of the vulnerability to the Microsoft. Next slide. Okay. By end of January, Velocity alerted Microsoft to the vulnerability. On 2nd March 2021, Microsoft released updates, patches to Exchange Server, including 2010, 13, 16, 19. This does not retroactively undo damage or remove any backdoors installed by attackers. By 9th March 2021, it was estimated that 250 million servers fell victims to the attack. And by 10th March, security researchers Nyan Zhang posted a proof of concept code to Microsoft own GitHub on how the exploit works. By 12th March, Microsoft announced the discovery of a new family of ransomware being deployed to servers initially infected, encrypting all files, making the server inoperable and demanding payment to reverse the damage. And by 13th March, another group independently published exploit code, with this code instead requiring minimal modifications to work. And by 22nd March 2021, Microsoft announced that 92% of Exchange servers, the exploit has been either patched or mitigated. Yep.
Yeah, coming to the root cause analysis of it. So how did this happen? This was happened due to zero-day exploits that were already there in MS Exchange, and these were used as initial access to the servers. later web shell backdoors were installed for a long-term access for these servers. Why? Because for the data exfiltration, for ransom seeking, and for crypto mining. Coming to who was responsible, as told, Hafiam, a Chinese state-sponsored hacking group, was responsible for this.
Okay, now coming to the attack vectors. So there were actually more than 10 APT groups involved in that attack, and they're like mainly it was by Hafnium, that is a Chinese state-sponsored group, and apart from that, there are other like Teak, Lucky Mouse, or Calypso. And apart from these groups, there was only one group was there who were linked to crypto mining in this attack. And now coming to the second point, it's like there are 4 zero-day exploits are vulnerable in Microsoft Exchange were utilized. So it was done in like part by part. So first, like hackers took the advantage of these 4 separate zero-day vulnerabilities to compromise Microsoft Exchange servers Outlook web access. Then they uses 2 exploits, and first they allowed the attackers to connect to the servers and falsely authenticate as a standard user. And using that, a second vulnerability they exploited, that is, they escalated the user access to the administrator privilege. So once that is done, they like web shell backdoors were deployed. And in order to preserve this long-term access to the compromised servers, at least one web shell had that capability to run commands and upload, delete, and view files. And this, it has been used in like downloading all emails from servers, downloading the passwords, the emails, addresses of users. And as the adding users are added, so adding further backdoors to affected systems. So which access like other systems in the network, which are which were unsuspectable in that original exploit. And by then they install ransomware. And ransomwares also like not only one, there were 3 ransomwares that were deployed. So there are different names of the ransomwares like Dear Cry, R Evil, Black Kingdom, like these 3 were deployed. And this attacks were done multiple times. Like first time in February 2021, when this attack was an automated attack. And in March 21, attackers again used a script to return to this address and to drop another web shell to enable them so that they can return later again. So like this, part by part, they have attacked, and this attack started from December. It continued till March. So these all has been done, and side you can see that's a attack flow that is designed by Kaspersky, which has been done by Toddy Cat. So like this, like multiple wave of attacks has been done on Microsoft Access servers in 2021. So yeah, that's it from my side. Go to the next one.
250,000 servers were exploited during servers belonging to around 30,000 organizations in United States and 7,000 servers in United Kingdom. Web shells were installed on more than 5,000 Unix servers in over 115 countries. The European Banking Authority servers were also compromised. However, they took its email system offline, so no data was extracted from their systems. Data was extracted from Norway Parliament. The full extent of damage is still unknown. Chile's Commission for the Financial Market was also affected, but they did not find presence of any ransomware. Acer was remanded to pay a ransom of $50 million, but they did not comment on the incident nor on the size of the ransom demanded.
Okay, so in order to recover this kind of attacks, okay, so this basically occurred on the 2010, 2013, 2016 for Exchange servers and 2019. Okay, and in the March, the Microsoft team came with the vulnerable patches, which is mandatory that were made by CISA. Okay, and to understand whether I'm really affected, if my system is affected or not, they have implemented to use the Microsoft Defender for endpoint. Okay, and where the server is not within the scope of Microsoft Exchange, the Microsoft team actually created a script which is known as Nmap. Okay, where it can detect if the Microsoft Exchange server is still affected or not. At the same time, where the servers which is not within the scope, or if it doesn't have the appropriate updates, then that particular action server has to be mitigated. So these were some of the temporary mitigations that have been done to remediate the this kind of attacks.
Yeah, coming to conclusion, no company is big or small to be hacked. It's just a matter of time that the company gets hacked. And even though the Microsoft has patched its vulnerabilities and the Defender antivirus is updated, there is no case of removing the existing infections such as web shells and the backdoors that have already been installed. This is a typical example of cyber warfare that is been going on between US and China. This is from our side.
Good job. So this is a very important case study. Microsoft Exchange Server. It's a very popular product, right? Most companies use this. So how a product which is not having proper security when it is released with all vulnerabilities, how it impacts customers worldwide. So some of the customers like Acer, and then there was a Norwegian parliament, right? It's a country's constitutional authority. Then I saw one more name. They were all impacted in a big way. And importantly, zero-day attacks for which there is no quick solution. All depends on how quickly the OEM comes back with a fix, right? So this particular case study also talks about crypto mining, right? So these are all new age threats that has a devastating impact on people, on companies, and also huge downtime for business operations. Just go back the slide, a few slides before. I wanted to highlight one thing. Yeah, this before this. Yes, so Chile's commission, again, that is a country for financial market, something like it's like RBI, right? Commission for financial market, even they were affected. So many folks were affected over so many countries, right? So this is not a small thing. And when you compare this scenario with the video game that we played, the interactive game we played, right? So some of you guys were saying, let us go ahead with the application release, launch, and then later we will fix the vulnerabilities. That's what precisely Microsoft has been doing long. And one joke they used to say, why Japan could never become big in software. You know why? They are very good at engineering. They are very good at the quality, right? Quality of products, mostly electronics and engineering products, cars and stuff. But why they are not good at software? Anyone can tell us? I work for a Japanese company. That's why I'm asking.
Because there is no perfect software.
Exactly. They are obsessed with perfection. So if instead of Microsoft, if a Japanese company tried to launch Windows 95, till today it would never been released because they're obsessed with perfection and quality, right? They will not release just like that. Whereas our Microsoft friends are like, first release, let us see, capture the market, take the money, then let us see what we do, what to do. So that's what that mindset is what paining many people. This kind of attacks and it gets exploited. Good job, guys. Very nicely put. And I like the diagram you used from Google. Maybe the diagram should occupy half your slide instead of a quarter. You can make the no, these are all small things, but one request to everyone, not only for this team, please do not read out word by word from the slide. It's easy, anyone can read it, right? Everyone can read it, but tell us what is it just. Don't read it, that's a very bad idea. Otherwise, good job, very comprehensive research you have done, digging you have done. So you copy pasted from sites, but it's good. Within 1 hour, you're able to pull it off. Good. Next team, please. Team 3. Kasaya, 2021.
May I bring up my screen?
Uday, you need access to share. You need the privileges.
No, I think I was able to share.
Okay, awesome. Go ahead.
Good evening, team. I would start with the background of this incident that happened with Kasaya in 2021. So basically, Kasaya is a virtual system administrator on RMM platform, which is remote monitoring and management platform.
Put it in full screen mode, that
yes.
everyone can see.
Yes. And RMM, a remote monitoring and management platform, is basically a process wherein we remotely monitor and maintain the IT infrastructure. And one important role in this RMM platform is that it does the automatic software updates and patches on all the managed devices in its span of network. And it is used by many managed service providers to perform various functions like firewalls, switches, networking equipment. And this managed service provider basically means that it's usually a third-party company that remotely manages customers' IT infrastructure. And its services include from, say, asset tracking, then software monitoring, the warranties of the particular device, which is in its span, etc. And with MSP, since it is a service provider by itself, it will have so many customers under its span. So what have happened is through a virtual system administrator, if the security of VSA is compromised, then on which the MSP is running, its security is also compromised. So the MSP is having multiple customers, and any compromise in the security of MSP will definitely infect or will definitely result in the compromise of all the customers of that particular MSP. So this is a basic introduction, and I would like to hand it over to Rajesh for further incident narration. How did it happen with the timelines?
Yes, we can go with the incident narration. So this is the time period. So this is the largest ransomware attack in this US history. So this is the time period of 4 months of duration, which was happened between July and October. This was, they used the
Can others go on mute, please? Except Rajesh, except the person speaking, can others go on mute? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. They used zero-day vulnerability and DDoS attack to take control of this and started leaking the data. So in this duration period, they started the vulnerability with a zero-day attacks on July 3rd, 2021, and they were left into the offline. Then finally, all encrypted files were restored for free, and the cache has shared this with Reveal Universe. And coming to that, August 2021, cache decrypted the key in leaked on hacking forms and became a public available. So once again, this attack as ransomware come back online after almost 2 months. So in the September between 1 and 3 of 2021, in between the 3 days, the ransomware hits the UK, including some other companies with DDoS attacks. So they entered with the vulnerabilities, zero-day vulnerabilities, and then again they started with the DDoS attacks. So again, the ransomware goes into the full attack mode and started leaking the data from September of 13th. So there is a long duration period. It's not happened in the one particular time period. They takes time to get the things into the control. So the finally used this DDoS attack technique use, to take the control and demand for the money. And finally, the US government backed agencies take down and attackers, public blockers to these servers. So coming to that, Kesha ransomware attacks has been impacted around 800 to 1,500 companies, and there are 37 of clients has been affected in this. So in this, they used using the zero-day exploits. They have distributed the malware softwares into the customer systems, and they started taking control of it. So they started entering with zero-day vulnerability, and they were very fast than the Kesaya. So the ransomware gang being used weakness. Those systems are encrypted in everything. So finally, since the malware, sorry, can you go to that next slide?
Yes.
I think you guys have to speed up, yeah.
Okay. So coming to this root cause, the reason which was is third party liability, the main reason for being these attacks. So they pay the highest pay of ransom request, a victim with a large cyber insurance coverage. Because of that reason, they have exploits this primary exploiting target. So there are multiple reports. They have observed this, and they have used zero-day vulnerability to remote access for the VSA. So the Dutch Institute came into the picture and finding a research on it, and they were processed to fix this vulnerabilities. So this was the exe file where they inserted into the customers, and they started exploiting on that. So we can go with the next one. So Anand, can you take this forward?
Sure, thanks, Rajesh. The attack vector, what was used was a zero-day vulnerability, where there were 7 known vulnerabilities, and Kasaya were able to fix 4 of them. But the R evil team of Russia were able to find the vulnerability which they installed the malware. So the malware was the exe file which Rajesh had shared. So it was a authentication system. Previously, it was believed it was a SQL injection, but it was a authentication system where the vulnerability was found and the exe file was installed. So basically, the users thought it was the exe file which was deployed by Kasaya, but it was a malware. Can you go to next slide, please? Yeah. So impact, there was not much of impact information available. Initially, it was thought only 600 clients, around 1,500 small businesses like dental clinics, architecture companies, all that were impacted. Kasaya was not very forthcoming, but the actual discussion happened between President of United States Joe Biden and Vladimir Putin from Russia to stop these attacks. So when the heads of the states get involved, the impact is huge. And the the ransom which was asked was for $70 million. Although Kasaya was able to release the patch, on July 13th itself, but the attack kept on going till the site was shut down in October. So the impact, how the MSPs were impacted, the MSP's clientele was impacted is really unknown. Kasaya was not very forthcoming with those details, but the impact was huge. And the reputation and employees who were involved to fix these things, there was government, FBI and CISA institutes which were involved to bring down the attack, but the impact was huge. Over to you, Uday.
Yes. So the remediation covering, the process, technology, and the people. Immediately when this was reported, Kasaya had to shut down its service, software as a service, the virtual system administrator, to prevent the further spread of the malware that is being delivered through themselves as a base. Then next, it had contacted the cyber security and infrastructure security agencies as well as the FBI, and also involved the third-party vendors to resolve this incident. And also it had to, provide the solution, the decryption to all the customers of their MSPs who were the victims of this attack. Then also, after that, they had released multiple patch updates to cover this up, but especially after the 9 days after this incident was reported, the patch 9.5.7a was the main one to address all the vulnerabilities of this attack. And then going to conclusion, so since the main attack vector in Kasaya 2021 was the zero-day vulnerability, where the company was well aware of the 7 vulnerabilities in their systems, and they had a fix only for the 4, and they knew that the other 3 they had vulnerabilities were still on their systems. But still, I think they had taken risk and kept their systems open without taking good measures. Probably what measures a company can take to prevent or mitigate the ransomware attacks are listed here. Say by implementing the user education, then automating backups, then minimizing attack surfaces, then the incident response plan, then endpoint detection and response along with managed detection, then purchasing ransomware insurance, which of course is a prevention, but then this was also one of the cause why the attackers had to pick Kasaya. Then of course the other prevention methods would be storing physical and off-site backups along with implementing zero trust security standards in their company. So that's all. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Few things very prominent in this attack. Good job, you guys. I really like the way you have put all the infographics. Very smartly you've put it. It looked very neat. Very professional job. I think that's the way you do corporate presentations. Now coming back to this this particular case study, what is prominent is it's one of the biggest supply chain ransomware attacks, right? And the reason why this company targeted, one of the key reasons was the ransomware insurance, because they found out that this company has got a huge cyber insurance, and they know that anyway they will claim from the insurance company, so they are cash rich and they can take the money from these guys. The other target, the MSP, why the managed service provider is a key target is because you target the MSP, it starts with a one-to-many effect, right? One company you target, many companies, clients are impacted. So customers normally trust their MSPs for their security issues. Now here the MSP itself was compromised. So this is one of the biggest the story last year when across security circles, Kasaya was talked a lot, and this ransomware really started becoming a headache. One of the example is Kasaya. From the pandemic times, from 2020, ransomware has grown from strength to strength. It's an ecosystem that actually pushes these ransomware gangs to go bold, because they are getting payments, ransom payments in bitcoins and others, right? That's the thing. Good job. Thanks. Anyone wants to have any other points you want to add? Anything you want to verify with this team, check with this team? No? So nobody asks questions because you have a gentleman's agreement. Huh? I scratch your back, you scratch my back. Let's not ask questions. We do it in our university days. Good. Okay.
Or
Next.
because you said running out of time, so we thought,
Oh my! Oh my! So nice of you guys are running out of time. Okay, next, I think the next one is what, fourth? Team 4 or team 3? Team 4 or 5?
Yeah,
Team
it's
4, right?
team 4. Team
Okay.
4.
Yeah, the car companies,
Yeah.
Guys, you have to speed up. The target to close this by 5, then the last team will go. At 5 o'clock, we will start with the last team.
Yeah, so we are from team 4. The topic is like the Audi and Volkswagen 2021 breach. So yeah, so to give a background about this RD and Volkswagen data breach, this exposed about 3.3 million customers' data, and basically after an unauthorized vendor exposed these data on the internet. So out of which, 97% of those data, which was exposed was related to RD customers or the interested buyers. And the data exposed that was exposed varied from the contact information to some of the sensitive informations like SSN numbers and loan numbers. And the informations that was exposed are like the first name, the last name, the personal mail address, the official email address, and the phone numbers, and the vehicle numbers, and the make and the year, and all those things were exposed. And more than 95% of the sensitive data included the driver's license number. So this is just the background about this data breach, and I will hand over to Swapna for the incident next step.
Thank you, Ramesh. As mentioned in the previous slide, it was around 3.3 million customers who were impacted by this breach. The majority of the customers were individuals who were already with Volkswagen and Audi, or they were prospective buyers. So what happened? This was the data which was used for sales between 2014 and 2019. Unfortunately, this data was left unsecured and exposed online. Also, while we were checking this online to put this data together on this slide, we got to know that there is no time specifically mentioned as to how long this was exposed, and it could be used by multiple people, and it could have led to much more bigger disaster. So how did this happen? An associate vendor was identified as the source of breach, but the company has not named the vendor. And what the car company did is they were alerted that an unauthorized third party may have accessed this information on March 10th. This is the incident as to overall this on this data breach. Now I will hand it over to Dishita for the next slide.
Thank you, Swapna. So the root cause analysis for the whole issue is data protection. So data is a powerful tool that can enable innovation and accelerate growth. If it is unprotected and if it is left uncovered, this is how a breach happens. So the problem realization is they have outsourced it to a third party, and the third party have made a note of all the personal details of the possible buyers, and they have left it in an unsecured file. So when they leave it as unsecured, that's when a data gets, really hackable by the hackers. So how could we prevent this is by following proper data encryption and limiting resources to access that particular file. So the next slide would be explained by Priyadashini.
Okay, this attack comes under passive attack, where an attacker monitors the open port, which is left vulnerable by the third party. Here, it was left open by the third party vendor. They did not monitor or did not do any system upgradation. And here it is said that the data was stored from the Azure BLOB container, and later it was sold in the hacking forum. From that forum, the identity details of the customers were sold. So, and also this kind of attack comes under footprinting, where a port open, where a vulnerable port kept open, data is taken from that. The next slide would be explained by Srinivasan.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, so I'll explain this slide. So coming to the impact, as we said earlier, about 3.3 million customer data was exposed, and out of which 90,000 customers had, the sensitive data were exposed. Since the data was exposed for a longer time, many experts suggested that the multiple parties would have accessed those data and they would have taken a copy of it. So they have suggested, the persons who affected with this data breach to put a freeze on their credit and secure informations that are linked with Volkswagen or Audi accounts, such as bank accounts, online accounts, credit card accounts, loan accounts, and SSN numbers and home addresses. So this was basically about the impact. And I will hand over it to Srini for the next slide.
Sorry, I was talking on mute. When it comes to remediation plan for people, process, and technology, when it comes to people, it is affected stakeholders of Audi, Audi and Volkswagen, whether it's a customer or employees of the Audi and Volkswagen. As a remediation plan, the Audi and Volkswagen have offered the free services to the customer. There are two services. One is a credit monitoring, and the other one is identify theft protection. So whenever the people is going through the bank accounts or loans or any inquiries regarding the credit scores or reports, anything which is related to comes under the credit monitoring. So whenever the hackers are again reviewing or trying to hack anything related to the customer information, then it will notify the customer. It's a credit monitoring, and other one is the identify theft protection, which is personal information where the phone numbers and the email address and address of the person. Whenever the hackers is trying to steal the personal information, they will get notified through the identify theft protection services. And when it comes to the process and technology, the Audi and Volkswagen team have to schedule the risk assessment on recurring basis, and they have to maintain and put in the controls of data security and encrypted protection and the network security and endpoint security. And as technology, they can improve their firewall things and email and encryption, and they can provide access to the people's who have an authorization, and they can provide the limitation or functionality to access the certain limit. So, and the next one is the conclusion will be provided by Swam.
Thank you, Srini. So in summary, if you remember yesterday's class, Dr. Ram clearly said the world's most valuable resource is no longer oil, but data. So we believe in that. So for this, a comprehensive endpoint solution will use encryption to prevent data loss and leakage, and enforce unified data protection policies across all the servers, networks, and endpoints. We have also mapped this to the slide 12 of what Dr. Ram shared with us as a slide which we had to refer to. So I think endpoint protection is something we assume this could be one of the solution for this data breach. With that, we end our presentation. Thank you.
Good job. Now, what is pretty clear is even car makers' data is a price target because it can be sold, can be monetized, right? Whatever 3.3 million records, these hackers are actually monetizing by putting it up in the dark web forums, hacking forums. And yesterday I was showing a slide where it had a rate chart. You remember, for every record, every document or information, there is a price chart in dollars. So all those is very dynamic. Every day it keeps changing depending on the value of the data. So these are all examples. You can easily relate to what I said yesterday. So even what is the implication of this kind of theft is the identity theft that will proliferate very quickly. When you get a huge dump of customer data, including their personally identifiable information, what we call as PII data, right? So that could lead to a lot of identity theft. Good thing in the US is you can actually freeze your credit accounts. I'm not sure whether we have such a facility in India. In case in India this kind of attack happens, whether we can block anybody from accessing our credit reports and processing any loans, right? So it's a good exercise for us to learn how even car companies, which are traditional legacy companies, manufacturing organizations, if they don't take care of customer data, then it gets into a lot of trouble for everyone, right? Thanks. Good job. You guys did a good job. Thanks. Next team number 5. You can start presenting.
Yeah. Sure. Pendra, I think you can flash the screen. So quickly to cover, the case study is about Marriott. To give a background, Marriott is a hospitality company, which is an American-based company, which has got about 131 countries, presence in 131 countries. So, so the incident background is, considering how big they are, they had a data breach, and they found that 5.2 million customers' data was compromised, which is the it's all about the PIs, which contain the PIs, what we call personal information of all the guests who are coming and using the Marriott services, guest houses and travels and all. So their contact information, the credit card information, plenty of the personal information was breached. Now this happened over a period of time, and 2018 is when they first realized, and then that it dates back to somewhere in 2014 onwards. So it's been happening, and it was found late. So that's the background and then the data breach. And I'll let Upendra to talk through actual what happened.
Yep, sure, thanks. And I also have my other team members as well, Harish, Sam, Nitin. You guys can pitch in as we continue. Incident narration. Firstly, just so that the audience is aware, there is not much information that has been put on the global site or a Google site. Likewise, so with whatever the information that is available, we were able to consolidate and present it across to the audience. The breach was identified back in Jan 2020, and it ran till Feb 20. But there were similar breaches that happened in 2014 and 2018 again. So Marriott has been one of the easiest target for all the hackers because they hold a lot of international customer details across all countries across globe, basically. Well, this happened. This happened by getting access to a couple of the vendor employees who were actually managing the guest records. So the attackers got into the application the hotels were operating, and this was managed by one of their franchisee. It's mentioned that there were 2 user accounts which were hacked, or to rather used to access the computers or the data. Now, the root cause for this, as I mentioned, there is not much details available, but we felt that one of the key component of how they were able to get access to is, one, there was definitely not an RBAC model in place, because the 2 user accounts which they used to hack into the systems, they had access to a lot of sensitive data. Now, we do not know what roles those individuals played in the organization, but they had a lot of privileges likewise. Secondly, there was no MFA enabled. If MFA was enabled, of course, this owner of the account would have got a notification that somebody is trying to access. It wasn't. And also there was no user activity monitoring that was implemented. While if any user is accessing records up to 5.2 million, then this would have been a major kind of a threat or an incident that the monitoring system would have triggered. Since this was not in place, so there was nothing that was triggered. Hence, it was an easy access for the hackers. Now, what kind of a method did they use? We believe we found an component that mentions social engineering vector. So we think that we assume that this was they gained access to the system by sending in some phishing emails or a spam email, which accidentally these users clicked, which actually enabled the hackers to get entry into the Marriott systems, which was managed by the franchisee. The impact, of course, one, data of 4.2 million guest records was stolen and at least 20 GB of information was leaked. And as I mentioned, this just not happened recently, but it has a history. It happened 2014. Then this was under the Starwood Hotels group. After 2 years, Marriott acquired this group of hotels. But then even after the acquisition, till 2018, this wasn't noticed. So basically it means Marriott did not meet the GDPR regulation. They did not do their due diligence before taking over this company. So if we recall the video, the play that we actually all played, this was one of the things. The due diligence was not done before any business decision was made. Well, yeah, when we are talking about 5.2 or even more customers associated with Marriott, then ideally a complete end-to-end check, security check, everything should have been done across all the systems to be able to finalize on the deal. And out of these 5.2 million, it was noticed that at least 330 million were UK records. And based on that, the UK's data privacy watchdog, they fined at least 18.4 million pounds. There's not much other details available. If any other organizations from US or any other country where the users were impacted, fine the Marriott hotels for them. The remediation. Again, not much details available, but this is what we think should have been done or is done actually. From people perspective, of course, all users would have prompted to or directed to reset their passwords and set up the MFA. From process perspective, each individual has a responsibility out here. If there is any malicious or spam emails, then it has to be reported back to the organization security. That's the first rule. And the next rule is do not click on any suspicious links. And as a process, continuous process, there should be ongoing risk and compliance assessments. From technology perspective, there should be a strong threat monitoring, detection and hunting, and application security and email security should be enabled. And all of these should be running on latest signatures, and also RBAC and PAM should be implemented, or probably is implemented. Conclusion, we would say that the poor due diligence before a business takeover has resulted in the breach of this valuable customer data. Marriott being such a big brand, definitely it has taken a hit on its brand. And probably in the back door, it has lost a lot of revenue, money in terms of fine paying back to these organizations, which is not available at this point of time. With that, we will conclude this Marriott 2020 case study as was available to us. If there is any other points my team members would like to add, please feel free to add. Thank you.
Good job, guys. Very well put, though you had challenges in sourcing sensitive data. What's pretty clear is Marriott never learned from its past experiences. Even in this year, 2022, Marriott suffered a data breach. It looks like Marriott is a hacker's favorite. They keep coming again and again. 2014, 2018, 2020, and this year as well. This particular case. It was primarily a social engineering attack, right? So employees have to be trained, contractors have to be trained on this. Phishing simulation campaigns you can do. You can have anti-phishing software installed. The whole 9 yards you can go. Different types of controls, preventive controls, detective controls, and stuff. But what's very important is the implications of this data breach, because the folks who stay in Marriott kind of hotel is very HNIs, right? High net worth individuals. Now, if this data, including their duration of stay and the travel plans, everything was leaked out, leaked, right? This data breach. Those kind of information can become a security threat, because interested vested parties, vested interest can actually map it out and make a pattern. Who went where, what was their interest and stuff. Very sensitive stuff. People would not love to disclose what for they went to Marriott, what for they went to that particular city, all of that. Some of them are very, very sensitive in nature. That will put them into a lot of trouble, right? So that is one big thing. Anyone heard of this case called Ashley Madison? If you're interested just purely out of you know curiosity, you should go and read up in. I mean, just Google for Ashley Madison case. It's uh, very, very funny when you look at the ramifications. Of course, it's not a joking matter. Due to the data breach, families have been torn apart, divorces, and sometimes suicides also happen. So this was in 2015 story, but still, it is a very interesting case study how it impacts individuals. Same thing in Marriott. Again, Marriott is not just a victim of cyber attacks, even physical attacks. I'm not sure how many of you remember in 2008 in Karachi, Marriott Hotel was bombed by a truck, terrorist in trucks. So that was a game changer because many years ago in 2009, I was part of one of the overseas security advisory council meetings where the VP of Marriott came down and VP security, and he talked about what measures they took, and that was the game changer for Marriott. They started installing bollards for ensuring trucks can come in and carry out such attacks. So the same thing, Marriott never seemed to learn on these issues, and it is continuing even today. So what is very common in all the case studies that we discussed is the zero-day attacks are common. Attacks through ransomware is common, and third-party suppliers and contract vendors, through them also attacks happen. That is impacting the supply chain. And fourthly, social engineering attempts are age-old attack vector that is happening. So hope this exercise gave you enough insights, at least something you can easily relate from real world. And I hope you enjoyed both the sessions, right, yesterday's and today's. And I look forward to meeting you all in person on 18th September. And until then, keep up the learning spirit. And please connect with me in LinkedIn. Look up my name and send me invites. I'll be happy to connect and see you grow. Thank you. And thanks to Dr. Shinu and her team for organizing this today session very seamlessly. The way the breakout rooms, everything was organized was very cool. Everything happened quickly, clockwork precision. A really good team you got, Dr. Shinu. Thanks again for the opportunity.
I'm just putting Dr. Ram's link here. Please do connect. Dr. Ram is part of, as you are aware, that he's part of 4+ years of our master's program. What I would request to Dr. Ram, he has a practice of everyday posting few cybersecurity nuggets and very good reading materials. So at least for the temporary group that we have created, Dr. Ram, if you could post some important reading materials. This is for your passive learning. Just keep collecting, because what sometimes among thousands of data breaches, Dr. Ram picked up maybe a good glimpse of all the important hacks, right? So I think the learning what we plan here is maybe more structured so that you don't go around and get confused where to begin, right? So I hope this session is to give you that overview and get you excited into the real practical implications. Now, if you in fact if you go through the, again, I'm trying to talk more about our master's program, but then what kind of vectors are available, what is the technical aspects of it, and how would you detect one attack over other. So that's all you're going to do that in SIM, right? In SOC, you will be monitoring and you will be able to differentiate between what kind of. So all that practical exposure that you will get from tomorrow. But I hope you are excited enough to learn more in, because it's not it's not for weak-hearted. Cybersecurity definitely is not for weak-hearted. Right, it has to the resilience and perseverance is so important.
So thanks, Dr. Ram. Anyone wants to say something? Otherwise, we will only meet Dr. Ram on 18th when we present that presentation. I think everyone will nail it and rock it, right? Because that's more going to be a technical come functional presentation.
Yeah, thanks, Ram. And session has always been good, and the way you delivered it actually makes a lot of difference. So thanks so much. All right.
Welcome, welcome, Adarsh. I look forward to seeing you in person on 18th.
Sure.
Should take a group picture. Huh? I mean, it goes without
Yeah,
saying.
can we actually come online, please, everyone?
No,
on a
not
video?
now. I didn't mean today.
No, I'm
okay.
just telling video mode if everyone could come in as much as possible, right? I think that's a good kind of a memory. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. I think more could we could fit in. How many we can fit in? I think in Teams there is always some restrictions. Srinivasan, what happened? You have not switched on the light, huh?
Okay. Yeah, my baby is sleeping. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought the dark web effect. He learned about dark web.
Okay, I'm going to click one more if everyone is smiling. Okay, nice. Thank you. Okay, so before we leave, 2-3 things. Please clean up the deck because as Dr. Ram kept on telling, corporate presentations, it has to be very spot on, one story. There are so many interesting deck. We also try a lot of things. That's why if you see our decks, we have a graphic designing and marketing team working on improving the presentability of our decks, right? So please spend some time. It will actually create a much better impact. So please clean up all the things what is not required and submit it in the upload link you would have had. It's an assignment link. And those who have not completed that quiz, we will be enabling that quiz maybe eventually, not today. And for tomorrow, definitely I'm sure everybody is now $100 more richer, right? In Azure. So please have your $100 ready because we will have Nishant starting off the practical sessions. Okay. So smile please and let's go and practice more and come back tomorrow. Tomorrow is a long day. 10 o'clock we start till 5 o'clock or more. Right? Don't look at the watch, but enjoy the learning. Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
guys. All the best.
Thank
See you
you.
then. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.